Hey, welcome to our first stream for, well, not the first stream, but another stream for 3256, the data-driven decisions. I'm just checking on the live stream, make sure we have sound and video. Looks like we do. Okay, cool. I wanted to take a look at getting started and jumping into our first writing and AI activity. So clicking this link, I get into an assignment. It's based on some reading here, like technical writing and generative AI. So then there's a few different, Ollama is actually like a whole collection of different models that you can use. And especially like right now, Deep Seek, yeah, it's the first thing that popped up. DeepSeek is like one of the biggest new models that you can look at. Actually, I haven't signed up for this at all, but you can run a DeepSeek model on your own computer with Ollama. I'll show you how that works and if you're interested, but I'm not going to sign up for this just now. Anyway, so using generative AI, all sorts of different things that can come up of like, what can you own about it? What can you claim to own? You can't claim AI generated content as your own content, but you can put AI content together and almost like a quilt work sort of activity. But anyway, there's this reading. For more information on that, we're going to jump into the actual homework 0 writing assignment. So I'm going to launch it up into Colab. I have my own, I launched it up here. I'm just running it under my own like Prof. Ryan Cooper Gmail account. And if I run the first one, I need NumPy and pandas. Really, I don't need matplotlib, but I always import it. It's become a habit. And what I want here is I want a generative AI model to create some instructions on brushing my teeth. I know how to brush my teeth and I have opinions about how I brush my teeth. So let's launch up and see what happens. So go to ChatGPT. What can I help you with? I don't need all that. I need you to give me instructions on how to brush my teeth. So this is kind of the minimal. This is just telling ChatGPT what to do, but there's also some other stuff that really helps narrow down the information that you're going to get. Is like give it a role. So right now I define the role, or sorry, I define the task, but I should define like what the role is too. So here I need you to play the role of a dentist with 5 years of experience and practice in dental hygiene. And then it also helps to give it like some, rather than just saying like, give me instructions, maybe I'll tell it like how long I want those instructions to be. Keep the instructions to less than 7 steps and give me some measurable tasks to perform. And even that, even telling it measurable tasks is going to be kind of, that's kind of vague. Like really I should spell out like, I want to know how long I should brush each tooth and something like that. But let's try it. So it's loading, and if you're probably most people are watching this after the fact, you can watch any of the editing or anything like that in fast motion. But now I've got like concise, effective instructions for brushing teeth. One thing to keep in mind is like as I read this, my mind is putting meaning to this, but the actual GPT tool is a general pre-trained transformer. So it's taking words that I wrote. Oh, freezing. It's taking words that I wrote, turning that into a vector, a machine-readable numerical vector, sending it through a whole series of like matrix transformations, and then turning those transformations back into another vector, and then translating that vector into words. So I'm giving it meaning by reading it, but there is no inherent, like, there's no thought to this, but I'm gonna copy this. Did it copy? Yeah, copy it. And let's do this. I'll just paste it right in here. And you know what, let's put my prompt in there as well. Not that. I keep doing Shift Tab. That one's not really. So here's the prompt. And so really my instructions are in here. The prompt input output, and then here I'm going to put my revised document. So I'm going to take the same thing. Oh, not that one. I want this one again. Copy. Paste. So choose the right tools. So I think this is unnecessary. Maybe that's just me, but by using a soft bristled toothbrush, that I've already chosen the right tool. And fluoride toothpaste. For me, as an engineer, I want to know how much fluoride in the toothpaste I should use. And toothpaste with at least fluoride in toothpaste recommendation. So here's a whole like research article about it. I don't see like a quick I'm trying to see if there's like a final conclusion. Let's see. Some evidence. I want to know how much fluoride I should be using in my toothpaste, not just that it should have fluoride. Is there enough fluoride? Fluoride in the toothpaste. So 1,500 parts per million. It isn't super helpful. But I can put it in there, right? Parts per million fluoride. And I can even put the reference in there, right? I'm gonna do some fancy, like, ooh, now I've got like a link in my document. Divide mouth into quadrants, split mouth into 4 sections. So a lot of this seems like kind of verbose to me. Like 4 sections is quadrants. So whenever I told it to be concise, it's like it's not being concise. It's telling me the same thing twice. So why into 4 sections for thorough cleaning? I mean, the whole point of this instruction is cleaning my teeth. So why do I need to say for thorough cleaning? So let's get rid of that. Brush for 2 minutes. Spend at least 30 seconds on each quadrant. Use a timer or a toothbrush with a built-in timer. And this one, that one's kind of nice. Maybe I'll leave it as is. Use a proper technique. Hold your toothbrush 45-degree angle to your gums. And this one, I've seen this come up before. Toothbrush angle for brushing, and I think there's an actual proper angle for brushing teeth right in here. 45 degrees, like that, where the teeth meet the gums. So this seems like a better description, right? So I'm going to copy that and come back in here. And where did I get it from? Health library. And if you have different ways of keeping track of how, and I don't need that full thing, I just want that one. If you have different ways of keeping track of your references, this is one way. I like to put in hyperlinks where I can. Clean all the surfaces, brush the outer. Yeah, sometimes. Inner and chewing surfaces of each tooth. Don't forget the back of your front teeth. Tilt the brush vertically for these areas. I feel like this step is not even needed because we already said spend 30 seconds on each quadrant. This isn't really a step, that's more of a suggestion. I don't like it. I'm gonna get rid of that step altogether. After brushing each quadrant, gently brush your tongue back to front, remove bacteria, freshen your breath. Okay? Finish by spitting out the toothpaste and rinse your mouth and toothbrush with clean water. I mean, with water. Brush twice. I'm just going to say brush twice daily. Before bed, replace your toothbrush every 3 to 4 months. All right, so I'm pretty happy with the edits that I made. I guess I could change this to 5, change that to 6. So now I've got my original concise, effective instructions, and now I have my my concise, effective instructions that I came up with. And I even added some references, some stuff that is definitely mine. And I want to and it's one of the reasons that I use the hyperlinks, because I don't really want to compare the text of hyperlinks that I use, but they're kind of hidden in there. So it keeps track of them, but it hides them from the work. So here's my edited text. I'm going to paste it in here. And now it's just text. Then I'm going to come back up here and do the same thing. Oh. Moving a little slow today. I feel you, computer. And now AI, I'm going to paste that right in here. So AI has some input. Me has input. So we're cool, good to go. Now let's try to run this command. This one, what this is doing is installing some stuff so that this TF IDF cosim will work. And now when I import it, I'll have access to that TF IDF tool. So it takes a second to like load some stuff in. There's tokenizers, like ways to let. And now I can run this AI text. Punk tab not found. That's weird. It should have done that in. It should have done that when I imported it. Let's try again. No, it really doesn't want to. So I could just try running that, right? Because it's telling me what I should be doing. So I'll try. Because it said it unzipped the tokenizers. That seemed to work, like import that NLTK separately. I don't know, I haven't had to try to do that yet before, but that one worked when I did that. So if you do happen to run into that problem, you can paste in those 2 lines of code, and now that one works. And then compare now has should have 2 documents, yeah. So here's document 0 and document 1. AI made document 0. I made document 1. At least I edited and turned it. And now you can get like a little bit of a behind the scenes look at what's happening to like what we call a document when we tell the computer like, hey, look at this. So first it like creates all lowercase, and it cleans it, like gets rid of any kind of semicolons, the punctuation and all of that. So it's just turning it into like, sometimes it's called like a bag of words, like just a whole bunch of words. And then tokenize it. So a lot of this stuff is toothbrush, toothpaste, mouth, quadrant, mentally. So some of these are keeping the full word, but some of them are going to like, oh, back and forth turned it into one word. And that's fine. But, oh, and then as we turn it into like words here, like 45 degree, and toothbrush, technique, no E. Just trying to get to the root of the word is really what it's doing. So now I can run this cosine similarity and compare them. Document 0 compared to itself is a 100% match because it's the exact same words. Versus my document compared to the original, to that AI generated document, is now like a 69%. I'm using the word percent, but really if it's 0.9, it's not that 90% of the words are the same, or that 90% of the document's the same. It's that this kind of computerized vector is 90% similar, and it's a cosine, it's an actual like vector operation, and it's dividing by the magnitude of the vector. But roughly we can say 70% is AI content based on this AI output, right? Like 70% is the same as what this one was. Okay, so now I have like some meta questions that I'm thinking about, because how much of this is really my work of like brushing teeth? I came up with the idea of saying like, hey, tell me how to brush teeth, and then there were some ideas that I came up with of like looking for references of like why 45 degrees and how much fluoride do I need. So some of that stuff is actual me. That's me putting my own thoughts into these like short instructions. So the question is like, did I create a new document when I did that? So let's take all this. Let's just copy it down all the way to the bottom. And we're gonna say, oh, we can just like make a new text. I'll say I can claim so let's come back up here and think about like, what did I do that was different from the AI? Oh, I didn't add that initial intro, but that's okay. So I like roughly, I would say like half of the ideas in here are mine, because I'm the one who came up with like a reference for how many parts per million this thing needs to be. I'm the one who said I'm the one who figured out like what this 45 degree is. I did grab it from another reference, but it's properly cited, right? So properly citing something, that one's okay. So I would say I came up with that. I came up with this. That's 2 out of the 6 steps. Yeah, I guess only 1/3 of the steps I can claim. So let me say that. I can claim 1/3 of the steps as my own, period. I looked up references for fluoride use and the orientation for brushing teeth in 2 out of the 6 steps. Let me just keep it consistent. ChatGPT AI model came up with 7 steps to, yes, I'll say 2 replaced by me and 1 deleted. And this one I kind of answered up above, so I'm just gonna, rather than, so is this a new document? And that's the question. This is a new document with my own ideas included and some repetitions and unnecessary wording deleted. And a lot of times, like, that's the main question is like, is this new? Like, did you provide enough information to call this a whole new thing? And I don't know. I think I kind of did here, but maybe you have a different thought because I didn't change everything, right? Like, not every step had changes. Some of it I just deleted stuff, like deleted titles of steps. But I think I'm doing pretty well. I think I used AI to get started, made some edits, and came up with something new. So down here, yeah, and this is, I think I would still credit AI for the initial formatting and wording for some of the steps, actually formatting and grammar for some of the steps, but claim the ownership as mine. Yep, and even though here the 0.69 cosine similarity score roughly indicates only 69% of the writing is the same between the original AI and my revised document. So whether or not you think 70%, like 69% is enough to say it is mine or it's not mine, that's kind of up to you. I'm saying that I came up with a couple of like novel ideas here, and I replaced them, I deleted some stuff. So I think I'm doing pretty well with like creating my own document there. Let's delete that one, delete this one. So I wanted to try one other thing because I was playing around with, let's do this, just make a new tab. And we'll say Olama run DeepSeek. So I have Olama running now, and I can ask it, I could give it the same prompt that I just gave ChatGPT. So this is DeepSeek. This is kind of the latest and greatest for today until tomorrow, right? Because it'll be different tomorrow of like what model is the best. So I'm going to paste in my my prompt, and let's see what DeepSeek tells me. So DeepSeek says, hey, I can't give you hygiene advice. Like, oh, okay, well, thanks for being honest. But this one is specifically telling me like, hey, I can help you with like Python or Office, but it's not like, it's not a dentist software, which is probably something that ChatGPT should mention. Is like, hey, I'm not a dentist, but all right. So instead of that, let's try like Llama. I think this is like Meta's thing. So let's give it the same. I'm just pasting in the same prompt and asking for some advice here. And what I'm going to do next is compare two different AI things with the same prompt. So it'll take a couple of seconds. It's running on my own computer now. So that's the nice part about using Ollama, is that you can actually run it on your own computer and you're not giving away your data to somebody else. It looks like some of the stuff is coming up. It's the same. This 45-degree angle keeps coming up. And I guess it's because there is a reference that we found, right? This proper angle for brushing. So that one must have been like baked into this one, into this step. All right, so thinking. Again, you can always like speed through this if you want to watch it in double speed. It's funny, I told it to do less than 7 steps, but this one gave me 6 steps, but the first one gave me 7, but one of them seemed unnecessary to begin with. So let's just take this and we're just going to copy all that. And paste it in. What I'm going to do here is create a new AI. So what was this? Meta equals. I'm going to take this compare and paste it in like this. What did we call it? AI meta. And what I have to do is come back up here and rerun these couple of lines. And now I've got 3 documents, 0, 1, and 2. You don't have to do this. You don't have to compare different models, but I just thought it was something that I was thinking about as I was going through this on my own. So here, I took this, edited it, and within about 5 to 10 minutes, I ended up at 70% the same. I took the same exact prompt, ran it through a different model, and I'm down to like 44% the same. And I could change, I could like flip these around, like make mine document 0 and then look at how similar these other 2 are. So maybe this one's gonna be even less similar to mine, or maybe it'll be a little bit more similar. But one thing that I wanted to say is like, this is good for like a plagiarism checker, and this is how plagiarism checkers work, is they look at bodies of text and turn that into a vector and then try to figure out like, are these the exact same sentences, at least as far as we can tell. And it's doing a lot of the same processing, like pre-processing of the data that it's looking at. So in terms of that, like a plagiarism detector would never catch either of these documents as being close to this original. If this is the one AI document that it was thinking for the prompt, it would never catch them. And even if I regenerate, even a regenerated prompt is probably going to be in the 80 or 90%. And if you use a different model, now you're down to like less than 50% similar, for just because of how these models work and different ways that it generates work. Yeah, so anyway, thought I would share that and do a little experiment. Like, what happens when we change up the model? So one of them, if you use the wrong model, if you use the wrong like AI model, it's not even going to give you anything. But then if you use, I hesitate to say the right model, but if you use a model that is programmed to give outputs, then maybe it'll give you what you're looking for. All right, cool. thanks a lot. Hopefully this helps with our continued work and then for our discussion on Monday. Looking forward to it. Have a great day.